You have been sold a story, and the story goes that if you're really serious about muscle growth, you need to have a spotter who will be there for you to push you beyond your positive failure and help you perform another 1 to 3 so-called force reps. And if you're really serious about training, this is the only way to go. We all know these grimacing faces, shaking hands after your set, and then your spotter coming and saying, bro, it was all you. But in reality, you have only moved half of the weights that you're attempting to move, and most of it was done by your spotter. So it is a badge of honor and is the accepted wisdom for everyone who is about to get big in the gyms all around the world. But what if I tell you that this advice is just wrong, and that this advice is effectively holding you back? It's sabotaging your recovery, putting you on a fast track to injury, and it could sideline you for months. So if you are serious about building muscle for the long haul without wrecking your body, watch this video until the end, and I will explain to you in 3 sections what are the dangers of so-called forced reps. Let us debunk the myth of forced reps in this first section. Why we are even doing this? So before we call it a scam, let's be fair. Let's see why are forced reps so popular. So on the surface, everything sounds very logical. If the last rep of the set is the most productive rep, then logically, if you go beyond that last possible rep, you will achieve even better results. So it sounds logical, isn't it? And it seems logical again that if there is a way, if somebody can help you, spot it, to move another 2 or 3 reps beyond your positive failure, you must be developing more muscle size by engaging muscle fibers which actually wouldn't be engaged in your normal straight sets. So proponents will tell you that maximizing time under tension and metabolic stress is actually increased by doing forced reps. There is also the psychological piece to this. It feels incredibly productive. You feel that you're doing something, that you're putting an enormous effort, and you believe that because of your feeling and that apparent effort is something that will actually really benefit you in optimizing your muscle growth. And also, it is theatrical. It looks intense. And in gym culture, often glorifies pain as a prerequisite for success. We all know that. People are falling on the ground after doing squats or leg press, performing, putting on a show as they've done something amazing, something that nobody else can do. It just to show off how hard they are training and how much pain actually they're taking on. That has been glorified, unfortunately, and you have all seen it. But I can tell you, this is all a theater, and not just that, but it's actually very, very dangerous practice. Now, in the section 2 now, I want to explain to you about hidden dangers of these forced reps and why it is a scam. So there is a trap which is built on 3 pillars. Number 1 is a massive injury risk. Number 2 is a crippling recovery death. And number 3 is essentially what I call junk volume. All right? So let's first discuss injury risk. So what happens when you hit a muscular failure? When you hit a muscular failure, let's say doing bench press or biceps curls or any exercise, squats for example, you have clearly brought that targeted muscle to the point that the muscle cannot perform anymore. Now your body is signaling you that you can't do anymore and you have to stop. So this is natural, is in an instinctive way of telling you, you need to stop now because you can't do anymore. Basically, that instinctive signal is there to protect you. Now, what happens when you perform force reps? Now, you cannot lift, let's say you're doing bench press, you can't lift anymore in the good form, so you're done. Now your partner is there, your spotter, and he's going to lift that weight for you, and you're going to try to do everything possible. Your body will fight to overcome that target for another rep, and it will involve everything in a wrong way. For example, how often have you seen when somebody is spotting somebody doing bench press that the shoulders roll forward instead of being backwards, exposing the chest? So the body is fighting, and the body will use every possible muscle or joint just to complete that rep. But in that attempt, your shoulders will be exposed to tremendous amount of stress because your chest are gone. You can't lift with your chest anymore. For example, when you do squats, what happens? If somebody is helping you to do squat, you just look around yourself in the gyms, and you will see the guys doing 5, 6, maybe 10 reps in great form. The back is arched and is almost straight. And then when the spotter comes, that form goes out of the window. So the guy leans forward and the back bends in the worst possible position, exposing vertebrae to tremendous stress. And this is what is happening when you are fighting for survival during those few forced reps. For majority of you, this is the story, especially for beginners who are so impatient and anxious to get to the results as soon as possible. I see it every day without a miss. Kids come to the gym, they don't even have any muscles on them, and they're already doing force reps, doing shoulder press, bench press, squats, leg press, just in order to get where they want to get. But this practice is extremely dangerous. So your spotter should be there just to help you in case you cannot complete your straight set. I will explain to you a little bit later why is that and when you should do that. But it shouldn't be that to help you to perform another 1 to 3 reps, so-called force reps, during which your form will go and you will put yourself in a tremendous risk of injury. So how force reps damage joints, ligaments, and tendons? So, as I explained, form breaks down under fatigue, and the loads that you're lifting, instead of being on your muscles, they shift to joints. So there is a sheer stress and compression on your shoulder joint, on your elbows, and on your knees especially. Compression on obviously cartilages. Now, tendons are also over stress. Tendons are not recovering fast as muscles. They are not as blooded as muscles. They don't grow as fast as muscles grow. So when you do a straight set, everything is set, everything is fine. When you go close to failure or even to failure, you're in the safe zone. But when you expose yourself to reps in which you cannot use the targeted muscles anymore and you have to do everything else possible because you're going beyond failure, right? Your tendons and ligaments will be extremely overstressed. Common situation is that there are micro tears, tendonitis, and also risk of rupture. We have all witnessed bodybuilders, serious bodybuilders, even professional bodybuilders who believe that they know how to use force reps and they're good for them. We know what happened, and it's happening every day. People are getting horrifying injuries. Some of the most famous names in bodybuilding have ripped their biceps, triceps, chest, quads, you name it. Every single tendon has been ripped. Why? Because of this mantra of forced reps. So imagine if a professional bodybuilder ruptures his tendon, biceps tendon or chest tendon. What about you, who are not professional? They're supposed to know what they're doing. What about you? If they don't know what they're doing, where are you left? Why would you do these very, very risky reps? So you should stay away from that. I will tell you my story. I was doing that while I was hypnotized in my beginning of my career with heavy-duty training system, and obviously force reps, all this, magic that will come after you go beyond failure. And I was doing force reps for every muscle group. So I remember the day when I was doing shoulder press and my spotter was helping me. I just felt pain in my left shoulder. I actually had a massive rotator cuff injury, and that put me away for months. I couldn't do any shoulder workouts, any chest workouts, and even some back exercises. I was absolutely devastated. I didn't know what to do. I tried everything, every type of therapy. It was absolute nightmare. Why? Because I believed, I didn't know, I just believed. So beware of beliefs, right? I'm trying to give you something which I have done, I have experienced on my own skin. I used with my clients who never got injured, never had any serious injuries in the last 40 years as long as I'm training them. And I'm giving you this as knowledge so you now know what is going on. You don't have to believe anymore, because we believe only when we don't know in any aspect of our life, right? So I didn't know. I believed it. And I got that injury. I was absolutely devastated. But you don't have to. So now in the second trap of this mantra of force rep is recovery cost. So you have probably heard about the stimulus to fatigue ratio, which has to be in favor of stimulus. So you need to stimulate muscle growth, but also you should not tap into your recovery, into your fatigue, because if you do that, then everything will stop. So even Lee Haney used to say, stimulate, do not obliterate. So the stimulus to fatigue ratio is absolutely perfect when you're performing your straight sets. You stimulate the muscle, but you don't fatigue during your workout. This is why you can do more sets, and this is why you can do more exercises. So you can reach the necessary volume about which I was talking in previous videos. But on the end of the session, you are not going to be fatigued, or actually your central nervous system won't be fatigued. Now, what happens when you perform force reps? Everything changes. That ratio between stimulus to fatigue changes in favor of fatigue. So you have tapped into your recovery ability too deep, and you can't recover now. Not only that you cannot recover for next session, you can't even recover for the end of your existing session, because these force reps are extremely harsh on your central nervous system. It's not just soreness, it is a deep system-wide exhaustion that can take days and days to recover. And as I said, it's not just in your current workout, right? But it's also in your next workout. So during your current workout, if you perform force reps in first exercise, and then in a couple of sets, and then maybe in 2-3 sets in the second exercise, you won't be able to do anything else after that. Or you will, but it will be with very low intensity, with light weight, and you will actually compromise the whole workout. The same applies to your next sessions. You won't be able, because you are fatigued, your central nervous system is exhausted. So you won't be able to perform fresh with the same energy levels, with the same capability, attitude, and happiness, if you want, because you're simply going to be run down to the ground. So the third trap of this force reps is something that I call junk volume. So while you're doing your straight set, let's say in 8 to 12 reps, you do bench press and you're using perfect form. Your shoulders are back, your chest are exposed, you're performing good pace, you don't stop, everything is perfect. Now, the moment you can't do this anymore, obviously you have to stop. But now, if you do force reps, this will continue, your body will fight, as I mentioned already, and the form will go out of the window. So that extra few reps are actually junk volume, and that junk volume will cost you dearly. So that idea that extra reps, especially force reps, are somehow more anabolic is absolute myth. You will be much better off if you stop, as you should do after your straight set, rest as necessary, as long as necessary, and then perform another one and another one, another one, and then move to another exercise, because your central nervous system won't be overstressed, and you will be completely ready and fine to go into another set until you reach your, as I recommend, 20 to 25 sets for big, large muscle groups. And this type of training is not only extremely high stimulus, but is also infinitely more sustainable. Now, in the section 3, I want to say a few words about the smarter solution. So what can you do instead if you really want to do something in order to maximize your growth, muscle growth? The best thing to do is something that now science has finally proven, but as I like to say, we have already had that in the biggest reality study, reality research in bodybuilding, which started from 70s, when bodybuilders have instinctively doing things which have given them tremendous results. So what did they do? How did Arnold, Sergio Oliva, Serge Nubre, all these guys in the past, even Lee Haney, how did they do it? Even some of the new guys, like, for example, Jay Cutler or Phil Heath, how did they do these things? No, none of them got injured badly. None of them. They're all fine. They have no injuries. They didn't tear any muscle, tendons, ligaments, nothing like that. So what did they do? And they achieved absolute top results. So they were all training shy of failure. What that means? That means if you stop 1 to 3 reps before failure, you will still achieve the same effect on muscle growth as if you went to failure. So this is something that, muscle heads, many of them don't want to acknowledge, because imagine, theater is going to die if you don't, do force reps and then you fall on the ground and you show people how you are in pain and you are screaming there after every rep, and, the show is great and you're just showing people how great you are. Well, you don't need to do that, because you will grow even better and you'll be safer for longer if you do what I'm just saying. And this is doing 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. Sometimes you can go to failure, but make sure that this is, for example, the last exercise in your training session and maybe last set. That can also be beneficial, but you can't do this in every set, in every exercise, because that will burn you out quickly. So if you have a spotter, your spotter should be there in order to allow you to go to failure in some of your exercises, preferably in the last set of that particular exercise. So you are free, you can go all the way, and even if you don't lift the weight, doing bench press or squats, he will be there to take that weight from you. So you don't have to, struggle to perform another 2 or 3 reps with him through force reps. No, spotter is just there for safety reasons. And this is the only way and the best way to use the spotter. So there are some also techniques that you can use, but this is more for advanced bodybuilders and also professional bodybuilders. If they want to sometimes stimulate more muscle growth, stress the body more, muscle more, and there are much safer techniques, like, for example, drop sets or rest pose technique. Because when you do drop sets, you continue doing your exercise on your own, and you continue doing those exercises in perfect form. So basically, if you do drop sets, you finish your biceps curls with 35 kgs, then you take 25 and then you finish with 20. You can still do it in right form, right pace, and you're safe. Also rest pose. You do 2-3 reps, then you rest. Then with the same weights after 10, 15, 20 seconds, depending on exercise, you continue again, another 2 reps and another 2 reps. Again, there is no spotter, no force reps. In these 2 techniques that I just mentioned, you are doing everything on your own, so you can focus on perfect form. So guys, I hope that you will learn something from this video, something that should benefit you, because this is my target every single time. I want to tell you things that I've learned, I've done, and I applied to my clients extremely successfully in the last 4 decades. So you can benefit from all this information. So you don't have to guess, you don't have to torment yourself, you don't have to believe in things, you don't have to injure yourself, but you should just take this on board, think, and try. And you will see that the advice that I'm giving you is very, very important for your progress and also for your safety. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel and also like the video, share the video, and send me your comments, because we have a lot of comments on my channel, and my viewers are discussing that, and this is extremely important because you can exchange your thoughts and experience. There's the great comments coming through. And also I would like to remind you that I have published 10 ebooks for you. They are all on my website, nashfittraining.com. And also, if you see this video in which I explain everything about other services, you will learn how we can work one-to-one and how I can help you in a way of online coaching, personalized training programs, personalized nutritional programs, and also telephone consultations. So we can still work together one-on-one, even if you're not in UK, wherever you are in the world, and you can benefit greatly from my experience. I can help you develop your body faster than you can imagine, and also help you burn unwanted body fat. So until the next video, I wish you all the best, and take care of yourselves.